friends, it's Lizzie here from Arcaneandstellar, and I want to welcome you to my channel today for this timeless pick a card reading. We're going to be looking at what are your person, any person that you have on your mind, what are their biggest, regrets with you, or regrets, we'll see, whatever comes through. But yeah, so maybe you have someone from your past, maybe it's your present, or something like that too, it could be, and you just kind of want to know, do they regret anything when it comes to me, and what would that be? So that's what we're uncovering in this pick a card reading, and I encourage you to use your intuition to really tune into one of these 5 groups. So number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and of course you can focus here on the images as you ask that question. Picture that person that you're asking about in your mind, and you are more than welcome to ask about more than one person. You might have 2 people, 3 people, 4 people. Just see where your intuition's leading you and all of that good stuff. So with that being said, thank you so much for all of your love and support. For those of you that leave comments, that go on my wish list and give me stuff, that's really sweet of you, and of course leaving tips and donations on the channel, that's always really nice as well. And of course for my members, I really do appreciate each and every one of you, and I've already got some videos out, well, one so far I think this month, and I have some more in the works. And yeah, so guys, if you do want to join up as a member, you can do that up above. You can click join, and you can get access to, some exclusive things. And there's 3 different tiers, and I have one video out, Who Can't Let You Go. So some of you might want to check that topic out. But anyways, and that video is posted for all tiers, I thought I'd mention. So, on my information I have on there, I do post certain videos for the $2.99 tier, so I thought I'd mention that just in case, because every once in a while I'll share one over there too, so that they also get a video, because sometimes I'm not the best about doing the posts. Anyway, so yeah, let's go ahead and get started, and I will see you in your reading. Hello, my friends. What's up? Hopefully you guys are gonna find an interesting message for you in this reading. So you've chosen the sticker here, which is quite beautiful, if I do say so myself. And I want to know, and you want to know, what is the person on your mind? What regrets do they have when it comes to you? So let's find out. So we have got the Queen, love and prosperity. We have got the Spider, be meticulous and patient. And we have heal. Actually, I remember. This actually came out. It was wound and heal, which I thought was funny and strange and coincidental, because what does a wound do but heal? And I remember they came out in that order, and I was like, how interesting. And then we have, of course, the King of Swords and the Sun. Wow, okay, so I always like to pay attention to how I end up intuitively laying them out, because, I'm just sort of... You'll find that I'll probably lay them out differently in each group, you know what I mean, depending. So, how I lay them out often has something to do with a message. And look at that. I wasn't even thinking, I'm too busy blabbering. And there we go, I put the heal with the Sun. What does this person have a regret of? Well, there's some sort of wound that wasn't healed between the two of you. Perhaps they were not able to sort of say something. The King of Swords can be kind of a stinker when it comes to their words. Perhaps they said something that was wounding to you, or they said something out of a hurt place. The other thing I want to say as well, though, with the Spider, and for some of you, you may have been very patient with this person. You may have shared a lot of love and kindness toward them even after they said something that they said. I do feel like this could have been something that they said verbally, like it's like a verbal wound, or something that they knew hurt, or something that they said that was, like I said, wound inducing, you know what I mean? It's the type of thing that hurts, that stings, that cuts, that burns. And I feel like here with the Sun and that heal, to mend, to tend to your wounds, to relieve pain, to attend to wellness and health, of course there's that, you know what I mean? Wanting to fix things, make things better, make things brighter. And the other thing I want to tell you is this person could be the type here with the Spider who, and I get that song, sorry, let me just say it, that song with Coldplay, Trouble. Trouble by Coldplay. And I do feel in some way like I get this feeling of like somebody who kind of spun or made too big of a web that it just kind of caught them. Or well, it's like they couldn't move freely around it. You get what I'm saying? Like I keep getting that image of like, something caught in the web. And it's almost like too complicated. That's, you know what I mean? Because sometimes things happen where it's just a little bit too complicated. And then you don't know how to go back. And that's kind of I guess that's kind of the vibe that I'm picking up here, is what I would say, And I'm going to take one of these. I actually feel led to take a Deep, Dark, and Dangerous Oracle card, so I'm going to do that for you as well. Hopefully it's not too loud. Okay, so we have the words love coming up twice. And so I do want to say that I think this person loved you. Or loves you. In present tense. Yeah. We also have the Guardians. Okay. So the fact that love comes up more than once makes me feel like this person probably wish that they could have told you that they loved you, that they cared. Perhaps they gave you indication that they didn't. I'm guessing, obviously, with the King of Swords and that wound card in particular. And they may have also been acting out of a wounded place as well. Sometimes when people are wounded, and I can tell you just from my personal experience there, like with my husband, sometimes the shit that comes out of his mouth when he's mad is ridiculous. And he's learned a lot about that over the years, but he's definitely one of those people that I think regrets a lot what he ends up saying. And I'm like one of those people that doesn't usually say anything I regret, like, because I usually am like quiet. Even though I have an Aries Mercury, you'd think I would be more of that type, but I have a Mars that's in Taurus, so it's like I usually, I'm not saying I've never had those, but I can just, like, some people, and it feels like this is a person who probably has acted out, and that's kind of why I brought the example of my husband, because I know he's kind of like that. And I've known a few people, like my mom's like that too, and I had like a friend before that was like that as well. Just speaks very, like, perhaps a bit nastier than they need to be, without thinking of the consequences of what can happen when you say things, you know what I mean, that words can stick forever. Actually, my grandmother told me that once. She's like, you always have to be careful what you say, because someone can hold on to a phrase that was said for the rest of their life. And, I have many, I'm sure that you guys have many things like that where, you've held on. And maybe you haven't held on to what this person said, but they regret saying it. That's another thing I want to point out. But, because you know what I mean? It didn't necessarily wound you per se, but I think they knew it came from a nasty place, or that it wasn't something that they wanted to say, or, do you get what I'm saying? And they wish they could have made amends. Sometimes we say things as well. I know I've had this situation before where I said something and I kind of like, oh, I wish I could take that back, but maybe it wasn't necessarily as bad. So it'd be kind of awkward to bring it up, because it was just sort of like, I wasn't trying to offend, but like later on in retrospect, I kind of like, I'm like, oh, could that have been offensive? Geez, maybe I should say something. And then I'm like, no, if I say something that might be awkward, because maybe they didn't care at all. Do you know what I mean? Even. And so there's that, I think for some of you, that as well. But the Guardians, number 9. So this can talk about developing strong and healthy boundaries. You should respect the boundaries of others. Not all places or people are for you or should be available to you. Exercise and expect loyalty. And of course, the duality of this is guardianship versus abandonment, loyalty versus disloyalty. So there's this idea, I think, here of perhaps wishing that they could have shown more loyalty and more faith, more, guardianship over you, rather than perhaps, again, abandonment or disloyalty. And perhaps this could point out to the person, pulling away or abandoning you in some way as well. So for some of you, this may tack on to the situation where the person regrets an abandonment in some way. Like maybe it's abandoning the situation, feeling wounded and just like, well, especially the spider, because it's all about being meticulous and patient. But sometimes patience, although it's a virtue in some cases, sometimes it's not a healthy thing. Sometimes there's too slow of actions, right? It's like too little too late, as they say. You know what I mean? It's kind of like Send in the Clowns, that song in particular. which was actually written by an Aries Venus, but and sung by an Aries Venus famously. But yeah, that's a great song for Aries Venus in particular. But that song, it talks about, like, where the, like, I come in, like, with my usual flair, but sure of my lines, no one is there. You know what I mean? So no one's waiting. And sometimes this can, we think that things will be there forever, but they're not always. Or we think people will stick around forever, but they're not always. And there's that little bit of a vibe here of missing moments, perhaps because of, you know, sometimes you wait too long and it's just too late. I guess that's how I'd put it. But yeah, I do feel like this person really wished to show more love and appreciation. hmm That's just like, I think that's the biggest thing that I see here for you guys. So, what an interesting reading. I really do hope that this was helpful to you in some way. I think I'll stop here because I just don't really feel any other specific messages coming through. Of course, we could talk about some of the signs. We could have Leo energy with the sun. We could have some air, some Aquarius, Gemini, Libra, of course, yeah. And then, but yeah, that's what I would say. And I just wish you guys the very, very best. If you like this reading, give me a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments below as well, perhaps if you have time, or, you're not too shy. I know some people are a bit shy to comment. Anyway, if you want to be a member here on the channel, you can join up above and get some exclusive pick a card content. If you want a personal reading, you can do that through my description. And you can find the links there to get a personal tarot reading or an astrology reading. And I will probably be running a sale sometime on astrology. I'd like to. I wanted to do one for New Year, but in Christmas, I thought about doing one for the holiday season, but I honestly was so booked up that I couldn't. And I only have one person on my schedule right now for astrology, so I think I'm good. I could take on some. Anyway, I kind of cleared it up through my list, which was quite massive. Thank you all for the ones that were in line for those, because you were all super patient and amazing. But anyway, take care, guys, and I'll see you on the next reading, okay? Lots of love and blessings. And thank you once again for your support. Bye-bye. Hello, my friends. So, you've chosen group number 2 here, and we're going to find out what your person's biggest regret is. The person on your mind, whoever they may be. So, you've chosen this clock sticker, alarm clock. Okay, so we have hindrance. We have got the Chariot. We've got innovate. And we've got the King of Pentacles. So yours is going to be kind of quicker, and because the story is very, very, very straightforward. Very straightforward. This doesn't feel at all like anything complicated. This feels like a very clear regret. This person regrets not making more effort towards you. With hindrance, it says, fate has blocked this path for you. Well, what's the Chariot? The Chariot's about moving forward, about breaking through, about, forward moving action, essentially. And we have innovate, to invent, to make changes, to launch, to initiate something new as well. So clearly we have somebody who regrets not pursuing you harder, not being innovative enough, not taking the chance or the risk, or there's definitely something like this person that you're asking about, they felt like they could have done more or tried harder in some way when it came to you at some point. Maybe for some of you, this regret is not, driving to see you as an example in a literal sense. I'm going to mention a few specific scenarios, and of course, this may not resonate with everyone, but it could be about traveling to see you, coming to get you. If this is somebody that you're in a good, good vibes with, it might be like, maybe I could have done more, or maybe I could have tried harder. Like I said, I just get this specific feeling, and hopefully I can explain this to you in a way that you understand, but it feels to me almost like there were roadblocks in some way, you know what I mean? And they could have tried, but they didn't. It's almost like, okay, for instance, say they had a flight out to see you or something, and they canceled the flight, and they just took it as like, oh, I guess that's the way it goes, and then they didn't try again. Like, they didn't go back and say, can I get switched to another flight? Can I get you know what I mean? Like, that's like the vibe. I'm not saying it's that specific scenario, but hopefully that makes sense. It's like, it feels as if there were some certain obstacles put in the way, but it's like they didn't try, you know what I mean, to innovate in the situation, to take a chance, or like to somehow change it. It's sort of like they accepted it quietly, or you know what I mean. I feel like time as well is in, like, some time has passed or something here, or it might be also a little bit of a bad timing because you chose the clock, the alarm clock. And so I'm kind of feeling that way too. Like, maybe there's a timing issue here as well. Like, maybe not acting in time, or I do really feel like this person contemplates actually about you. Like, sort of quietly reflects. I need this one right here. I feel it. Oh, sovereignty. The Morgan. Okay, interesting. I've never seen that card before. This is a wonderful Christmas gift I got. Gratification. So, I did this for group number 1 too. I felt like taking a card from this deck in particular. See, and we have fear and courage as a duality of the Morgan. And it feels as if this person lacked certain courage. It's almost like, again, things got too tough, and it's like they're not trying hard enough, is what I get. It's sort of like, and maybe this is about, it just feels as if this person, yeah, they essentially didn't move towards you in some way. Now, the Sphinx. Now listen to this. Mark your successes. Use your intellect. Be wise, and as such know that you can't know it all. Be curious. You do not always need to expect to receive something immediately. Take your time to do things well. Delayed gratification can build character and achieve big goals. Guard what's integral to you. Everything that annoys or irritates you about someone tells us a lot about yourself. And that's interesting. Now or later, knowing and ignorance. Now or later. That's funny. But I feel in some way that this person really missed out on like some sort of movement. That's what I feel. It's like a movement or moving forward again. It could be that this person doesn't move too quickly. Perhaps that's, a negative thing, or something like that. But in some case, with some of you. But that's just the vibe I'm getting. I actually would want to do something a little bit different than I did with the other groups, because I am kind of a little bit curious still. I want to see what this person would say. Okay, so I'm just gonna grab a tarot deck and see if I can kind of delve in a little bit deeper here, because I do feel like not trying hard enough. Yeah, 10 of Wands. So, yeah, okay, we have kind of, again, the same kind of scenario here. We have the 10 of Wands, the Page of Athames, and the 7 of Chalices. And the Page of Athames, of course, pages can indicate contact or communication of some kind. And it feels as if they didn't know the right things to say certain times of their, your relationship or your connection in some way. And perhaps it's like they didn't try to get further. It's like they just sort of let themselves be taken over by other things. Maybe this person was overwhelmed at some time and they thought, well, I think that maybe it's like not meant to be, or somehow, or maybe there are certain obstacles and I'm just going to let them be, that sort of thing. And that's their bigger regret. I think that this person also could have been a little bit unclear with the choices to make. I'm kind of wondering too if this person wasn't sure if it was a practical thing here. Like almost like they were second guessing themselves. Yeah, second guessing their emotions perhaps. A little bit afraid to act on a whim. To throw caution perhaps to the wind, to take a chance. There's also, we have the Fool and then the Witch. This is like basically the Fool and the Magician. So another thing that we see here is progress. You know, these are progressive, you know, kind of numbers. They progress. And so that makes me feel again that there was like a lack of progression here, a lack of action towards progression here. Even though one was perfectly capable. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. And again, I think that this person, there was enjoyment here as well when it came to you. I feel like this person also didn't express certain fantasies or ideas that they had when it came to you. But yeah, that's an interesting reading, you guys. I really do hope that it helped you in some way. And does it sound like it could be accurate, or do you feel like you picked the wrong group? Let me know in the comments below. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, though. That would be helpful, because it always helps me to know if you like the video, if I need to record things like this. If you like, you know what I mean? Obviously, if people don't like it very much, then it's like, okay, probably I won't do that topic again, because I don't want to torture people with things that they're not interested in. So likes are always like important, because it really does tell me a lot. And anyway, if you want a personal reading with me, you can do that through my Etsy. You can join here as a member on the channel by clicking the join link up above, and you can get some exclusive pick a cards and stuff that are only posted for members. Yep, all that good stuff. Anyway, you guys take care and have a blessed and beautiful day wherever you are, and I'll see you next time. Hello, my friends. So if you chose group number 3 here, this is your reading. Now, let's see. What is your person's biggest regrets? The person on your mind, whoever that may be, whatever your relationship may be. This is open-minded, you know what I mean? So let's keep this open-minded and continue. The Oracle. Seek wisdom and guidance from elders. So, you know, one of the first things that I'm getting here is that for some of you, and I know this is going to be a specific scenario for some of you, but I wanted to mention it because especially those might need to hear it. Some of you might have a child that has had regrets, perhaps about not always listening to you as an example, or not taking certain offers or wisdom or guidance from you. So that's an interesting one, because it does feel as if for a few of you at least, you need to really hear that, because I think this message comes through quite strongly because it's the first one that comes out to me. And so I do feel like there could be some regretful children. You know, there's a song, and it's called Anak by Freddie Aguilar. He's a Filipino singer, actually. I'm not Filipino, but one of my really good friends, you know, when I was younger was, and we always would listen to, my husband and I still listen to that song when we drink. And when we're around our friends, sometimes we'll listen to that. And that particular song, for some reason came to me, and it was like before I even pulled the cards over. And so I thought I'd mention that. But the song has this meaning of like, you know, kind of understanding how much our parents were there for us. And for some of you, this might be the opposite. For some of you, this might be parents that have regret from not being able to pay for your university. Gosh, I know these are specific messages, and I'm so sorry. For some of you, you might have parents that regret, elders in your life that regret things, not giving you enough, or not providing you with enough as well. I feel like in some ways there could be generational beliefs or traditions that could have affected this, sort of like I was raised that way, so I do it that way. You know what I'm saying? So those are the first two messages I thought I'd just knock right out of the way. I feel as if there is also certain people that could regret not giving you some sort of offer or opportunity as well. But I really feel like a lot of this regret is somehow connected in some way to the physical realm. That I really get that strongly. Like as if they didn't give you something, they didn't do something that would have helped you in life. That sort of vibe. So I'm not getting like the previous groups kind of felt like very much like, oh, you know, I regret not making a move or something like that. But this is much different energy. There could have been things that this person regrets that they've seen with older age or experience or wisdom. This feels like regrets that someone's trying to make up for as well. And so I kind of wonder if this person in your life might be actively trying to or wanting to like fix this. Like as in they would try to reconnect or they would be trying to make amends. For some of you, it may be that. And you know, I'm going to tell you, I feel like some of you clicked on this group with a person on your mind, but this isn't matching the person on your mind. This is actually somebody else in your life, and you're just sort of meant to see this message or hear this message. I know that sounds funny, but it's true. Like I feel like some of you came here maybe asking about someone in your life, but actually you're getting a message about someone else, but you were led here by Spirit. I feel here, though, the age, wisdom, there's a lot more wisdom, I think, to this person at this time in their life. And I want to say that this person perhaps didn't always show you the most loyalty either. For some of you, somebody could be in therapy or something, or somehow in a reflective state, and they're seeing things a bit more clearly. I do feel in so many ways you brought this person much happiness. And the other weird one here is like, I really do feel like this person, whoever you're asking about or whoever's coming through for you, really wants to have a happy family, happy connection, happy life, happiness between, you know, the both of you, no matter what your circumstances are. I feel like their loyalty in some way, or maybe their actions were somewhat questionable. Perhaps they put worries in you, and I just really get the feeling that some of you, it's like your parents or something, or some sort of guardian who wish they could have done more by you, or done better, you know? Especially if you had parents that were never able to transcend their own problems, you know, like alcoholics or people who had, you know, certain issues in their life. As an example, maybe, you know, for some of you, these are parents who are never able to transcend their circumstances and, you know, maybe get out of poverty or whatever. I know these are specific scenarios I'm talking about, but that's what I'm really getting, so I have to share it. Of course, some of you might back out now and just go pick another group. You know, pick a cards are all about our intuition, but I feel like there are some of you that were led to this group for this intuitive, you know, this message, because it's like something that you need to hear in some way, shape, or form. Whether it brings healing or understanding or a new perspective or you know what I mean. But there's a lot of love here in this one. And it's just more like, I wished I could have done that. I regret that I didn't do that. I didn't give that. I didn't buy them that. I didn't put them in this. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's almost like the mom who was a single mom and, like, wanted, daughter wants ballet class or something like that, and she couldn't afford it. You know what I mean? And it's like, man, I wished I could have done that. You know what I mean? For my child or whatever. It's like that kind of stuff I'm talking about. Wished I could have done better. Wish I could have left more behind, or given more in this life. So maybe for some of you, this person's even passed on. But yeah, a very specific message. So I apologize, like I said, to people that this isn't for, but this is very much the kind of regret that I'm feeling. Feels very family oriented or something, or again, guardian or someone older. Or maybe it's like your child, like I said as well. Maybe they didn't appreciate what you've given, and now they may have regrets, about that. I could have, done better. I remember even myself, I remember once when I was younger, I had like one, instance with my father, my adoptive dad, and I remember I kind of acted like a real little bitch, honestly, when I was I think I was about 13 or 12. It was like, I think 12 was probably my worst age, like 11 and 12. No, 12 was specifically, though. I was like really naughty. And not naughty, like really naughty, but just like talking back in a little bit more attitude. And I remember I kind of threw a fit for my dad, and I still regret that to this day. And honestly, like, it was such a small occurrence, he probably doesn't remember it, but it just, like, I don't know why, but it ate me up. And that's the thing too. Sometimes people regret things that bothered them, but maybe didn't even bother you. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Let me know what you guys thought about this one, because this is probably the most interesting one. I really want to hear from this group in the comments. Like, out of all of them, I really want to hear from you guys and see, does this make any sense to you? Because I really do feel like you were meant to hear this today. So you guys, lots of love to you. If you want a personal reading with me, you can do that by clicking in the description box, my Etsy store. I have that. Don't fall for any dang scammers in the comments. And if you want to have some more exclusive pick-a-card readings, you can by joining as a member here. You can get a membership up at the top. You can click join, and you'll see the different tiers. I thought I'd mention this, but I recently posted the Who Can't Let You Go video there, and it is available for all the tiers. So even if you're on the $2.99 tier, you can still watch some pick-a-card videos, because I do post them, because I'm not always the best at doing the posts, like the pick-a-card posts. So I'll include videos here and there for that tier as well. Anyway, lots of love for you guys, and I just hope to see you again in the next reading. Take care, and I will see you soon, hopefully. Bye-bye. Hello, my friends. If you chose group number 4 here, this is your reading. So your person that you've asked about, what is their biggest regret? What do they regret when it comes to you? That's what we're going to be finding out. So we have the stars. A long journey brings rewards. We have the connection, relationship, and love card, as well as repression. I'm actually going to put them up like this. Oops. There we go. We also have the 9 of Wands, the 5 of Wands, the 4 of Pentacles, and the Death card. Ooh, okay, so this is a very interesting one. I have to say that I do feel like this is somewhat quite straightforward, and I feel like this person regrets perhaps ending the journey with you, not fighting for you, not pursuing you like with, ardence and kind of vigor. It feels like this person kind of let go or held back in some way is what I get. This feels as if this person sort of repressed their desires for you as well. It also could have been for some of you that this person was in a way a little bit greedy. This person may have had a hard time opening up at some point or taking certain actions. It's almost like they weren't invested enough, or they couldn't invest, or they didn't invest enough at some point in your relationship. There may have also been a lot of complications. We have the 5 of Wands. So this could have, meant that there were, for some of you, this could be arguments between the two of you or problems, and they, sort of didn't try to fix those things. But I more so feel as if there were certain obstacles or complications that arose. And it's almost like they weren't going the distance somehow. That's what I feel is your message. So the person that you're asking about, their biggest regret is perhaps not pursuing you, not sticking with you, not, yeah, here we have the choice, Valkyrie. Yep. Okay. And then we have, let's see here, Mirror. One thing I will tell you too is that this person felt the same as you in some way, shape, or form, but they didn't allow themselves to express it. With the Mirror here, I feel as if there was some sort of, and now this card also has other meanings which I will look at, but intuitively this is what I'm getting. I feel like this person, they did mirror you in some way, but they probably didn't express that. That's what it feels like. It's almost like you confessing that you like someone and then they're like, yeah, but I'm not interested, I'm sorry. You know what I mean? You know, it feels as if there was some sort of repression. So the Mirror can talk about a reflection in reality. There also could be this idea of what would people think, making choices based on what others would think or how they would perceive. You know, perhaps it's like some people might have found their action irresponsible, or maybe there were people that had certain opinions about their behavior or somehow towards you. Now, the Valkyrie talks about choice, and it says you have control over yourself only, and you can choose your thoughts and actions. It's never too late to change. You can transform your fears. Be courageous, even though you may be fearful. Choice and consequences, self and community. And here, that's the thing. It's funny, community comes through. So, like what people think. There's something about other people's thoughts or opinions that did affect this person's actions towards you, or lack of action. Gosh, yeah, it feels like maybe there were somebody in their ear, or I don't know, maybe it's just something that they were reading or something. But it does feel as if there was something there in that regard. But yeah, again, dealing with the choices, you know, and the consequences of their choices is what I'm getting. Now, I will say that I do feel like this person made a bad choice when it came to you, and the Death card as a final card makes me feel as if perhaps it's too late, or, you know, this page has, you know, turned, the book is closed now, and perhaps there's no way back. And that's something I do feel like this person perceives, like there's no way out of this. Eight of Swords, Eight of Athames. This person, yeah, I don't think that they feel like it would be even possible, appropriate, or anything like that to sort of, perhaps you've said farewell to this person already, is what I'm getting. But this person actually very much cares about you, and they still do, by the way. This person still thinks about you, still cares about you, still desires something here. I really do feel here with the Two of Wands and the Two of Chalices in particular. But I think that you've already probably let go, or they perceive that you have in some way, that you're not. Maybe they feel like they blew it, or that, you know, it wouldn't be something possible. I am going to do something a little bit different for your guys' group. I'm going to pull some message cards because I do feel like this needs to be done for this particular group. So these are just my homemade ones. So we have this feels wrong. Okay, I'm scared of the past. I feel bad for hurting you. Okay, I want two more. I feel two more. I miss the sound of your voice. And we've got your words keep replaying in my head. Okay, so that's the thing. There's something that you've said that really sticks with them. And there may have been something like a moment that played out between the two of you that kind of sticks with them to this day. And this person does miss the sound of your voice. So this makes me feel like you're not talking to this person anymore, or you don't talk to them anymore. And you know what I mean? And they miss that. This feels wrong. It makes me feel as if, again, when the choice came, there may have been certain things there that were in the way. You know what I mean? Like perhaps they had certain fears, or maybe they felt something was ethically incorrect about the situation as well. Maybe it went against their morals, ethics, beliefs. It's almost like they didn't want to take a, take a chance here. Oops. Ten of Pentacles. Again, maybe it went against their vision of, at the time, of what they thought they wanted in life. Perhaps something about you, and I'm not saying this to hurt your feelings, I'm just being honest. There may have been something about the situation that wasn't ideal. Like, sometimes, and I'm just going to say this is of course specific, but it may be like, for instance, you had like a child as an example, and they were like, well, I didn't picture that, in the person I was going to be with. Or, and maybe for some of you, if this is not romantic, of course, keep that in mind. But that may not be the exact scenario, but it feels as if there was something, it's almost like this person was ignoring their thoughts for the moment and making choices based on a future, but now they regret that. You know what I mean? That's just kind of what I'm getting. And then we have, I'm scared of the past as well. I want to get, and then wait, hold on. We're going to talk about that one in a moment. I want to look at this. I feel bad for hurting you, because I do feel like this person feels like they have regret, remorse over hurting you in some way. So they definitely must have done something that felt like, negative towards you, where it gave you that negative feelings. Right? But what's this? I'm scared of the past. That's what I'm kind of curious about. Ooh, okay. We have the moon. I think there was once a time in this person's life where they were very vulnerable. And they were afraid of that once again. I think there was a bit of a fear of the unknown, but I feel like with the past, there was something impactful in their life that created a lot of fear and anxiety about the progression of this connection in some way. It's almost like somebody who didn't want to feel that way again. Hold on, I have a song. Hold on. I don't know if I can remember it. Damn it. It like came to me, but then I forgot it. Darn it. Darn it. Man, okay. I don't want to like waste your guys' time trying to figure that out, because I think I don't have... Oh, man. I don't want to feel like I did that day. Red Hot Chili Peppers, I think that's one. I don't want to feel like I did that day. Take me to the place I love. That one. But that's the phrase I'm getting. I don't want to feel like I did that day. And I don't know if it's also the day, like a day that happened between you. Maybe there was something that sparked in them that day, and they're like, I never want to feel that way again. And maybe that's why there was that rejection that came forward, or somehow not, that repression came out, because it's like, it could even be that something that happened between the two of you. It could be like, I'm not opening up again, or whatever, because I don't want to feel that way, you know what I mean, again. And I'm not gonna, because maybe there was like a choice or something, and you didn't make like a choice that they thought they, you know what I mean, maybe in some way you hurt them, and then they didn't want to repeat that, you know what I mean? Even if you weren't aware of it. But I don't know if that's for everyone, but I do feel like that message. It's like, anyway, hopefully that makes sense. For some, you know what I mean? For some of you that will be for you, of course, and for others of you maybe not. But anyway, that is what I'm seeing for those of you that chose group number 4. So hope you enjoyed this and it was helpful for you in some way. I wish you the very, very best. If you want to have a personal reading with me, you can do that through my Etsy store. The link is up in the description box. I do tarot readings. I do astrology reports. I've been doing tarot for like ever. I don't even know how many years now. What, gosh, like 20 years? Jeez Louise. And then astrology I've been doing for, it's going to be 18 years this year. Dang, it's been a long time. I started when I got pregnant with my daughter, and because and that was more like serious research. Of course, I had astrology around me growing up. My grandma always had Linda Goodman books and stuff, and I knew about it a little bit, but when my daughter was born, I just that's when I started to learn how to read a natal chart and be more serious about astrology. So I've been doing it a while, so I can be helpful sometimes if people need something. I have all kinds of different types of reports too, relocation, like about places to move. I have natal chart readings, transit stuff. I still have the 2023 20-minute reports as well. Like I said, I'm going to try to do a sale. I couldn't because honestly I wanted to do one for Christmas, New Year, for the holidays, and I just could not because I was so booked up. And I finally just have one person right now that just got a reading and a report, or astrology report, and so my schedule's kind of freer at the moment, so I might be able to run a sale. I try to because I know that they're expensive, and so I know that not everyone can afford that, or what I mean. So I try to do sales here and there when I can. Anyway, lots of love to you guys. So many blessings, and I hope that this reading helps you, okay? Okay, bye-bye. Hello, my friends, group number 5. What are you doing? You're here. I know what you're doing. Oh my goodness. So as soon as I grabbed your pile off the ground, because I keep it near the floor by me so I don't mix them up and lose my place. Anyway, as soon as I picked up this group, I got Writing to Reach You by Travis, the song by Travis. So every day I wake up and it's Sunday, and whatever's in my head won't go away. I can't sing, so don't listen to me. And I'll stop. Sorry, because you have to listen to me because you're here. So that's not a fair thing to say, is it? But anyway, no, I did get that Writing to Reach You. So some of you might want to look up the lyrics. This could be relatable somehow to the situation. Maybe there's a phrase or a stanza or something. I don't know, something there, chorus, whatever. But yeah, I did get that. We have the quill, of course, too. So that's good for that's good for writing. Not well if you're good at those. I will learn that someday. Someday I will. Okay, so what have we got here? What's your person's biggest regret? The Sun. Your perseverance is rewarded. We have the Tower and the Moon. Blue moon. Okay, the affirmation. So this is very simple and straightforward in many ways. I feel as if this connection brought you much confusion at certain points. This also could have been a little bit dramatic with the Tower. This could be like a sudden ending, sudden drama, sudden cut you off type of crap as well. There also feels like there was a lack of affirmation here. So this person did not affirm something that they felt to you. So, well, how would this play out? Well, like probably as like somebody who, for some of you, this could be somebody who was like, didn't express how much they cared about you, liked you, or there's a little bit of a give up energy here, okay? A little bit of a give up energy, like somebody giving up, somebody not being clear as well, even. Yeah, that's the truth. That's what I'm getting. There's like a lack of validation that they didn't give you some sort of validation. And maybe you're aware of this. Now, the thing is that I want to mention this about regrets. Regrets can be, and I'm going to pull this one because I really want this one. Regrets often, maybe they're not something that we even think of. Like, we didn't even give a shit, but they think about it. You know what I mean? How many times have you regretted something? And you're like, oh, God, I said that one thing to Susie. Like, and oh, my God, she probably thinks I'm stupid. You know what I mean? And Susie probably doesn't give a shit. You know what I mean? And that's regrets sometimes can work like that, too. So just keep it in mind, okay? Oh, wow, okay. So we have the mermaid and the werewolf. Ooh, okay, so two kind of creatures. Gosh, okay, let's see. Well, first of all, with the mermaid, to me, of course, this can talk about somebody who didn't express their attraction, okay? Because the key words to this are attraction and danger. So beauty is a high value when it illuminates and inspires, but it is in the eye of the beholder. Relying just on outward appearances is shallow and temporary. If beauty is the only virtue, then others need to be developed. Love your own unique beauty. If you are using your beauty to manipulate someone, be wary. This particular kind of magic wears thin after a time. Now, what's interesting here is that obviously mermaids are tied up to the idea of like sirens or being alluring in some way, like luring men in and sailors in and then drowning them. Of course, this also could show that the person perhaps captivated you in some way and then dropped you like like a hot potato. Remember that game when we were kids? Hot potato, no, it'd be like potato, potato. What was it? I did it with my students before, with my my class, but now I can't even remember. Anyway, but yeah, so it's like hot, like getting dropped hot, like suddenly. And so I do feel like that's, for some of you, it's almost like they didn't affirm something beyond the physical pleasure even. As an example, like maybe this person and you hooked up, but they didn't take it farther. They didn't affirm that there was something more there, as well, for some of you. Now, for not all of you, okay. On this one, I feel like there are probably a few different people, but there's definitely a lack of expression, okay, a lack of truth here. There is definitely regret around like a sudden decision, an unclearness, and there could have been done something on emotion. You know what I mean? In confusion, without thinking about the consequences. These two cards are so kind of, especially together, very irrational, perhaps as well. I do feel in some way this person as well, there was a lot of attraction here. Perhaps that wasn't expressed too for some of you. So it's going to work like a little bit different, I think, here, depending on your situation. But yeah, it's that kind of situation. So with the werewolf, it says here, seek and acknowledge your true nature. Understand what is driving you. We have control versus chaos, wild versus socialized. Now what's interesting is that it's about the full moon. And then we have the moon. So I don't know. I wonder if this person has, maybe they have a sun-moon opposition in their chart and they have a full moon. Like they have the sun and moon in opposite signs, like Leo moon and Aquarius sun or something like that, But not necessarily for all of you, okay? That's ridiculous. But with the sun and the moon are here. Whoa, maybe you guys have sun and moon, aspects as well with this person. Because now I just caught, yeah, we have the sun card too. I didn't even think about that. Jeez Louise. Okay, so we're definitely getting that. It also could point to this person having strong Leo or Cancer in their chart as well. So with the werewolf here, this can talk about, it's kind of a tricky one because it says here that seeking and acknowledging your true nature, understanding what is driving you. And I feel like this person acted upon wild instincts. What is a werewolf? It's somebody who is acting according to the moon. They become like a monster, like where they're not thinking. It's like my husband's playing this game Vampire, and on his PlayStation or whatever. And the storyline's quite interesting because this man basically wakes up and he's like, a vampire or whatever. And then he's like, kills his sister. Anyway, spoiler alert. But I think that's like a big part of the game, so I don't think it's a big spoiler. But yeah, and then he's trying to find out, like, it's like sort of like this person was taken over by some sort of wildness inside of them, and they regret that. Maybe they acted in a way that was like unsupportive, not very nice, not very affirmative in the way that they truly felt. It's almost like, because there's controlled behavior, right? It's like where we have, because that's what makes humans, as an example, sometimes different than certain animals, because we have some level of control like we can be controlled by our beliefs, our ethics, our community. We can, you know what I mean, or influenced, I guess you could say, to say no to something, to an instinct. We can say like, okay, I have an instinct to do this, but I'm not going to do this. Like I want to slap this person or whatever, but we know better not to slap, right? Because we have laws and we have morals and all these other things, right? And it's almost like this person acted in a way that was like out of an instinct, but not always healthy, right? Because again, that's kind of what has made, I think, our species a little bit more, not saying that all humans are perfect or anything like that, obviously, but we definitely have this ability to rationalize, to have more morality, to choose properly and stuff like that. And it kind of feels as if, and the other thing, for some of you, and I'm just going to say this, like, because I really feel this message strongly, for some of you, you may feel used by this person, and they didn't mean to. They could have been acting on jealousy or like other primitive, in not jealousy. Jealousy is not primitive. I feel jealous sometimes, with my husband. I still, even 20 years later, we've been together, I still feel jealous sometimes. It's normal. Like, it can happen. Okay? Anybody who's trying to tell you that it's only toxic and only this and only that, blah, 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 blah. Bullshit. Okay? Of course, if it rules our life and it destroys our relationship, that's a different story. But a little jealousy is normal sometimes. You know what I mean? That's not... It's just showing a healthy fear. You know what I mean? And we should, definitely, there's everything has its good and bad, okay? So anyway, but there's like a person who's maybe acting upon, it feels like a wildness. And maybe that wildness is to be destructive in certain situations or to react a certain way. It's almost like a person who... So anyways, hopefully this is making sense to you guys, because I have like some clear pictures in my mind, but there feels like a moment where this person acted in a way that was not in line with their rational mind. And again, this could be like, a skittish animal who runs off or attacks in a bad moment too. But there's something that was not affirmed correctly. Like their true feelings were not affirmed in a situation. Also, again, like I said, for some of you, they may have acted in a way that was detrimental because of jealousy or like possessiveness or like almost kind of a little bit toxic. You know what I mean? Like they got jealous or something. I don't know. I keep getting that word jealous. And again, maybe that's a regret. And maybe this person feels like they showed a different side of themselves that they don't like as well, is something I'm getting. Okay. Okay, so we have the Emperor. So, again, I kind of feel like there could be something here where the person perhaps left you confused. I definitely get the sense of somebody who left you a bit confused. It's almost like skittishness as well that comes through too. And of course, I know that we've kind of spoken about a few different things here, so keep in mind there might be more than one. And for some of you, I don't know, I'm kind of wondering if a lot of people might choose this group. Because, yeah, it could feel that way. I want to say too that this person may have chose to walk away. There's also like a stepping back type of energy too, because we have an 8 of chalices and a 7. And it's almost like somebody taking a decision to step back or to walk away, especially because of the 8 of cups as well, or the 8 of chalices can imply, that energy of, abandoning something or, going on a new path or whatnot, right? And this could also talk about, actually, in this particular deck, about changing your social patterns. So it could be like they changed the way that they were dealing with you, as an example, and maybe caused confusion. And the 7 of Cups, of course, can talk about false promises, like them changing suddenly on you. And, of course, the Emperor, too, on some levels, this can talk about somebody who's, like, a little bit stern. Not the most warm-hearted, right, of the people cards, or, well, the different people. here. Not that they're bad or anything, right? But it could be somebody who wasn't the most flexible, or, that sort of thing. And it could be somebody who didn't really take full responsibility or express themselves in a brave way. Like, because this is about leadership. And, this could be about walking away from taking the lead, you know what I mean? Maybe for false promises or bullshit. For some of you, you may have been cheated on by this person and they really regret it. With the mermaid here, now I'm kind of wondering if they acted on an instinct. Or they made you not trust them. I'm starting to think that's for some of you. That's the regret. Like, you know what I mean? Because it does feel like somebody who was maybe caught up in some bullshit. The moon also, by the way, in tarot can talk about clandestine relationships, secret relationships, doing deception. But yeah, when it comes to relationships, oftentimes it's secret or it's clandestine, hidden, and it can be very actually unstable. The moon's not a very stable one for relationships. Oftentimes it's a passing fancy or something that will change with the tides, you know what I mean? Or change with the season. It's not the most flexible. I mean, it's more flexible, rather than stable. And so it's almost like somebody was like, woo, at the moon, like the werewolf, and then acted in a way that was bullshit. You know what I mean? And so I'm thinking for some of you, this is cheating. And that's your biggest regret when it comes to you. So, you know what? That's what I've got to say, you guys. I really hope this helped you. Maybe for some of you, this is something you needed to hear, and I hope for the ones that, did need to hear this, got to hear it. And there's like, and it didn't affirm their real feelings. Like, whatever they've done did not affirm what the truth was. Like, do I mean, it wasn't the truth. Like, they didn't really, especially if they cheated, they didn't really give a shit about that person. Like, they didn't really, it was bullshit. It was just a facade. It was nothing. It was maybe an instinct or an animalistic kind of reaction or something like that too. Or it's like that if that's kind of what I'm getting. And of course, like I said, it won't all be cheating for you. It could just be, but for those of you that did have that happen, I really do feel like it's important for me to say it, because I think that maybe this could be a little bit helpful for you to hear, or Spirit just is trying to make me see that. And I can't believe it took me so long, but I can say overall, definitively, for you guys choosing this, the person you're asking about, they regret not affirming something. And yeah, that's what I'm getting. And they didn't act in a reasonable way. That's another thing I'm getting. Anyway, I will shut up now and let you guys go, but thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed this reading, give me a thumbs up. It helps me know if you like the reading, if you like seeing these type of topics, and I know, okay, I should do this again, or maybe I shouldn't. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, you guys, take care of yourself, okay? Lots of love to you. If you want a personal reading with me, you can do that through my Etsy store. The link is up above. You can get tarot readings with me, or you can get astrology readings. So I've been doing tarot for like a long time, 20 years, I guess. And then it's been a long time because I'm 37 and I started when I was like 17. Anyway, and I guess probably for the first year or so I didn't know what the hell I was doing, but you know what I mean. So you can take a year off maybe of that. Where I was just trying to figure out. I have one of my old first tarot books somewhere, and I have little notes, and it was so cute because I was asking questions. I didn't know what the hell the cards were, and now I can read them so much better in retrospect. But yeah, years of experience. But anyway, and then with astrology, I also, again, I've probably known about, I've done about astrology for a long time, but serious study, where I was really learning it, began about 18 years ago this year. So, you know what I mean? I have some experience, you know what I mean? So it might be useful for some of you if you have questions about yourself. And I am going to try to run a sale soon, so keep your eyes peeled, because I wanted to do an astrology sale again for the holidays, and I didn't get a chance because I was just too booked up. And I just did not have any room in my schedule at all. I only have one person on my schedule right now, so I probably could manage to fit some in. And I figured, you know what I mean, I might throw out a sale there for you guys, because I like to do those from time to time, because I know they're expensive, and anyway, lots of love to you all, and I wish you the very best. Take care. Subscribe if you want to. Oh, and if you want to be a member on the channel, you can get some exclusive content. Check it out above. But anyway, Take care, and I will see you next time.